How's everybody doing? Happy Friday. Am I live? Are we live? Am I live? Are we live? Gotta have some fun on a Friday. I see we have a ton of people rolling into the live stream. Welcome, welcome. Today was quite the day. If you didn't see the live stream from Keith Gill, Roaring Kitty, looked very reminiscent of what I'm doing now. So this is definitely paying tribute to Mr. Kitty himself. So we're going to get started here. I see we have quite a few people joining the live stream. Welcome, welcome. It's Rod with the Power Group. Thanks again for joining us in the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Also home to the best MJ community. Today is Friday. It's June 7th. I hope you're well. And in this video, we're going to be discussing Roaring Kitty. He's back, and we're going to do some analysis on GME. I had a lot of requests about GameStop to do some analysis, so we'll jump into the chart. I'll give my thoughts and opinions on the technicals, the price action leading up to today and in the days, weeks, months ahead. But as always, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and you should never buy or sell anything based on anything that I say or write. And I totally get what he's talking about. It's hard to navigate a stream with a broken arm. Just kidding. Oh man, that was epic. What do you guys girls think of the live stream? Other than the fact that he was late, but you know. I started my stream on time though, so I see people like the intro as well. So yeah, not actually heard either, but I had to do it. I used to have these sunglasses that had little weed leaves on them. I was going to wear that one, but my partner wore them on St. Patty's Day and then lost them. So it is what it is. Hope everybody's doing awesome. And if you tuned into the live stream today, it was crazy. There was like 600,000 people on the live stream. There was like 250,000 people waiting. And then there was, I think, like 1 point something million views on it and like 140,000 likes. So this dude trying to break the internet and break YouTube. But curious what everybody thought of the stream. Was it everything you had hoped for, or was there anything that stood out to you that you wish you would have covered? But obviously, GameStop Saga is in full force. He mentioned in the video that essentially he had a two-part thesis, and this is the second part of that thesis where, you know, first it was undervalued, and then now, and it was overblown, and then a lot of short interest, right? And then the second phase and the second part of the thesis was the transformation piece, right? And how they're going to stay relevant and cut costs, that type of thing. But we'll do some analysis on the stock. And if you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all the good stuff. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. Also, you can follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. The handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. Hello, hello. See, we have quite a few people joining the stream. If you are joining the stream late, you missed the intro, so you have to go back and see that. This is going to be good. A lot of gain on the mic in the past couple of vids. Yeah, I've been getting a new setup. I got a new computer, a new laptop, so I'm just getting everything all settled and finalized. But yeah, I think it has to do. I'm just gonna try. Let me know if that's better. I just adjusted the volume settings, but it's weird. It seems to be my streaming software. It's not my actual. Every other, you know, kind of application, it's just my streaming software. And whenever I plug in my old computer, for whatever reason, I'll max all of the settings and it's still not very loud. So I don't know what's going on with it, but it seems to be like the streaming software has a mind of its own. I saw other people who run YouTube channels that I talked to. They said something similar happened as well. Even Streamlabs was doing it. I'm using OBS, but yeah, it was StreamYard, and I'm using Streamlabs. So I'm not sure why it does that. It's been a problem on StreamYard as well. But I just adjusted the settings a little bit. Let me know if that's better on the microphone. You're hilarious. No clue. It was wild. I thought he was going to drop a big one in the stream, but he just made the stock tank 10%. Do your interview with Erwin like this. Yeah. Yeah. So he showed his portfolio on the screen. And while the stream was happening, I think it halted like 10 times or something crazy like that. But it was all right around here. It went all the way up to about $38. And then it got halted and halted again. And then it was unfrozen. He was going to show his portfolio and then halted again. And it dropped as low as $26. But basically, he lost, I think it was $235 million from yesterday after hours. So yesterday after hours, it hit like 62. I think was the high. But I'm just checking here. There was an article that I saw not too long ago that came into the Powell Group private community. I'm just trying to see that here. But yeah, I think it was 235 million. But I'm not seeing it here. Let me just see here. 235. Just going to do a quick search. Yeah. No, I'm not seeing it. So it's all good. I think he lost north of 200 million. And yesterday he was probably worth, whenever it hit 62 in the after hours, he was probably worth close to $1 billion, probably 750 million. So the dude has some cojones. I'll give him that. But essentially he's holding, he's on E-Trade. I thought it was pretty funny whenever he took the E-Trade's logo out with the HTML editor. That was pretty awesome. But yeah, we'll do some analysis here and curious what everybody else thinks. If you're just rolling in, make sure you can watch the stream, but make sure you go back to the beginning. I had a pretty funny intro that people seem to enjoy. So epic video today. That was absolutely awesome. I had an absolute ball joining the stream, and yeah, you got to have fun, right? It's a Friday. The only thing I'm missing is a beer. So if I had one, I would crack one. But we'll take a look at the hourly time frame here. So it was an hourly bear flag that confirmed and an hourly downtrend, and we had an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross lining up leading into the stream. And you have to remember that when something is known, right, it would have been different if he would have just went live and no notice, right? But it was multiple, I think it was like a full day in advance that we knew about it, right? So the fact that it was a scheduled event means that these market makers, they are going to use it to their advantage. And if you remember what happened to Dogecoin, whenever it was, popping, it was Saturday Night Live where Elon Musk was going to be on there and he was talking about Doge. So that ended up being a sell the news event. And same thing here with this is that ended up being a sell the news event. So in the aftermarket yesterday, tons of gains, right? It was up to, I think 62 was the high, maybe even higher than that at one point. And then it sold off leading into today, and that sell the news event when everybody is aware of it, right? That's typically when, it goes the opposite direction of what you would think. And we did have an hourly bear flag and downtrend that confirmed. And if we take our measured move here, you can see from the low to the high, move it out to your 0.32 fib, it was targeting roughly $23.50. Then shortly after, we hit 26.12 was the low. So we could potentially, it's multiple hourly inside bars. So we'll see what happens into Monday. It could be another hourly bear flag potentially as we see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross, and then we come back down. But it's going to be telling which way we break out of these hourly candles leading into Monday, right? If we break it bearish, then like I said, that target 23.50 more than likely hit. So key support is going to be 27.31. After that, like I said, 23.50 there, our next support. But hourly bear flag played out to perfection. Just zooming out to the daily time frame here. So it looked like we were gearing up for one massive cup and handle. Who knows? Maybe we can still get the psychology and we can continue up next week. But the S&P 500, so SPY is a monthly bull flag. We hit a new all-time high today and then started to pull back. We saw a lot of sell-off today in the broader market. You can see this period here with SPY. And if we just bring up and compare BTC, you can see it was pretty much around the same time here. Just not as... It was pretty intense for Bitcoin, and it's not the best comparison. Let me see. I'm going to bring up my Moomoo platform. The compare feature is a lot better on there, but that got hit hard. I'll just remove that from here. But yeah, if I bring up BTC, we had a huge liquidation event. I think it was like I think it was like 300 million liquidated, and we went from about 72K all the way down to 68K in a hurry. So it's not uncommon for us to see that at the top, right? If we're near all-time highs on Bitcoin, if we're setting new all-time highs on the S&P 500 on SPY. And, we're seeing NVDA, new all-time highs, monthly bull flag, blue sky breakout. When you're at all-time highs, we were also in extreme greed on the fear and greed index. So when you're seeing that, whenever you're that, greedy, and you're seeing that many, people just bullish, and that they don't think that there's going to be any downside, right? Everybody and their dog turns bullish, and then that's when you start to see over leveraged or longs get liquidated. And I think that's what happened today. We saw it across all markets. Even gold and silver was down quite a bit today. But I did want to bring up GME here. Oh man, what a fun day. Let me just expand this out a bit here. There we go. And I'm just going to do the compare feature as well. So yeah, we'll look at GameStop. Actually, no, we wanted to look at the S&P 500, didn't we? So let's look at SPY. Yeah, so we'll bring up SPY, S&P 500, and then we'll just compare that with, I wonder if it'll allow me to compare it with Bitcoin. Never did that on here before. QBTC. No, I just want Bitcoin. Not sure it will allow me to do it. All right, what about Coinbase? Coinbase must have went down around the same time. No, it only allows you to do it for 1 month. Okay, never mind. But you did see me compare that. Bitcoin was selling off. GME was selling off. The S&P 500 was selling off. Gold and silver were weak today as well. So we bring up gold and silver. Silver was notably hit today, down almost 7%. But yeah, everything started to tank. And then if we bring up SPY into the end of the day here, new all-time high, and then sold off. The dollar is very strong today. I think that had a lot to do with the precious metals. But yeah, then GME, same thing, right? Everything was getting hit. So it was pretty much just everybody and their dog getting too bullish, and that's what happens, right? So just healthy in my opinion. But GME, we'll take a look here on the weekly time frame. So we did hit weekly overbought, and we cooled off RSI. what a massive range there. Monthly inside bar at the moment. We could still be gearing up for a monthly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross before it's all said and done. And look at the size of that range on the monthly candle. It's like an 83% range. And we could tighten up again into next month potentially as well. But not ignoring the fact here that we could see this monthly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross. And it looks like potentially bulls want more. And back to my train of thought here, the S&P 500 is a monthly bull flag. So we were low, high, higher, low, and higher, high. If we just zoom out, bring up our drawings here, you can see anything over that 0.32 fib on monthly consolidation here was a higher low and a monthly bull flag. And once we broke the all-time high, that confirmed it. And the measured move on the S&P 500 here is 620 on that measured move of the monthly bull flag. So if we're targeting 620 on the S&P 500, and BTC is also a monthly bull flag as well. Just bring it up here. You can see here we have our low, high, higher, low. And we can just draw it out real quick. Oops. It's a little sloppy. There we go. And then you take your measured move. Just make sure I'm on log scale here, which I'm not. There we go. Trading View's been very odd lately, just like a mind of its own trading. Trading View just seems to remove some of my settings now. They never used to do that. It'd hold it for forever. And now I have to go on and make sure I check it every single time I start a stream. But yeah, it's saying potentially 164, 165K here on Bitcoin. So like I said, if everything's trending higher and we're seeing it on all equities, crypto, risk on assets, then why can't GME trend higher and see this monthly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross? I think there's a good chance that the top is not over. And what did he say? What did he have? June 20th calls, I think it was. So June 20th, that gives us until, just under 2 weeks. So I don't think it's over yet. Also, Canada just cut its interest rates for the first time in over 4 years. Same with the ECB. So the U.S. is never first and never last. But if the U.S. cuts, that's going to send this market into overdrive mode. But yeah, GME here on the weekly time frame, we just look at the stochastic cross bearish, but the MACD's blasting off into space, starting to go parabolic and curl here on the 10-week moving average as well. We already had our weekly moving average bear crosses. Now we're gearing up for a potential bull cross. So again, the party might not be over here for GME. Daily time frame, we just had a golden cross as well. How long was that since we had a golden cross on GME? That was the first time since the death cross, which was back in December, the end of 2021. And we had a mini one here, but not much follow through. Mini one here, not much follow through. And third time's the charm, it looks like here. But curious to see what everybody else thinks. Do you think we're going to, I think if he hits $70, I think if GME hits $70, Roaring Kitty turns a billionaire, which is wild to think about. We'll jump into the chat here. What is it? I'm just curious what everybody thinks. Do you think GME's over? Do you think the rally's over? Or do you think we're heading to 70, potentially even 100? I want to see what the all-time high, or what the high was there. Was that the all-time high? Yeah, that was the all-time high. So the all-time high in January of 2021, during that meme stock craze, it hit 120.75. So what do you think? Can it hit a new all-time high? Are we still live at this point? I think we're still live. I think my computer just froze there a little bit. Somebody can type into the chat. Can still hear me okay? Got over 30 people at the moment, so if someone could do that, I would appreciate it. Setting up a new computer, so. Oh man, yeah. I just wish I had that beer. It would have been perfect. Hello, hello. Yes, you can hear. Okay, cool. I'm just checking. There's a couple of things that just came in here. Just want to see what GME was doing after hours as well. So yeah, yesterday after market was nutty. Let's go to the 5-minute time frame here. Yeah, sitting pretty much flat here, down about 0.5% after hours. TLRY, you bet. Welcome to the stream. I like GameStop. Yeah, I like the stock. Tilray, I like the stock. But yeah, if anybody's joining, if you joined late, make sure to go back to the beginning. That one's for you, Keith. Epic intro today. He was a little bit late to the stream, but yeah, it was a fun time. So I'm thinking, GME probably come back down, like I said, around that $23, maybe even back test $20. And then I don't think the party's over yet. I think the gain train is still in full force. And like I said, with the S&P 500 monthly bull flag, Bitcoin very close. We've got NVDA, pretty much everything starting to rip. The only thing that really isn't ripping at the moment is MJ, but I think it's not too far away from seeing that as well. And it's looking like the whole market's going to get absolutely nutty here into the end of the year. And like I said, Canada cutting rates, first time in over 4 years. We had the ECB. I think the US isn't too far off. And if they cut rates, that's going to be typically a bad thing for the market. It's typically viewed as bullish in the short term, but then in the longer term, it ends up being bad. It's usually like 6 months to a year after that where we start to enter a pretty prolonged bear market. So just keep that in mind. And then one thing I mentioned here already in a couple of my videos, we've got a major market top indicator. So we had this video here, a bill banning stocks that was at consensus, and that he was I forget his name, but he's a Democrat, and he's talking about a bill that they're introducing to ban Congress from owning stocks. He said he doesn't own any Bitcoin, anything at all, any securities, because he thinks it's a conflict of interest. And then this man here, who's also running for the Senate, I believe, and he's a Republican, he echoed the same thing. So it's on both sides of the aisle now. And he said he liquidated all of his Bitcoin, all of his crypto, all of his securities. He said he even sold his company to run for office. So And I heard a ton of people say, well, they've been saying for 30 years or 20 years that they're going to ban Congress and elected officials from owning stocks. Well, what's different this time? The difference is the Federal Reserve banned themselves in 2021 at the top. And now we have bipartisan support, and it seems to be coming up again and again and again. There's bills, circulating. So it's not just, words. It's not just thoughts and opinions. There's actually bills and bipartisan support and the support of the American people. And also the, the corruption that we've seen with Nancy Pelosi and Elizabeth Warren. Nancy Pelosi's worth like $300 million and Elizabeth Warren's like 80 million or something like that. Right. So what that guy said on the video here, that's absolutely disgusting. Right. So this time is different. And we have, like I said, bipartisan support. The Federal Reserve banned themselves. So I think the writing is on the wall. I think that's going to happen. But I gotta warn everybody, we got to be cautious over the next 6 to 8 months. I think we're running out of runway here with this bull market. I think we're going to go higher. I think we could see 600, a little north of 600 on the S&P 500. But watch for Congress being banned from owning stocks. And if you're looking for a good place to buy stocks as well, you can check out Wealthsimple here in Canada. So if you just go to the description box on any of my videos or on this video, there's going to be a link to Wealthsimple. You can actually buy crypto on here as well. So I took advantage of the down market today, and I bought some Filecoin, I bought some more Flare, and I bought some more, what was the other one? Filecoin, Flare, and HBAR. So if you're looking to buy crypto, you can do that. You can do so in the description. There'll be a link for that. It'll give you a $25 funding reward, and it helps the channel as well. All right, going to start wrapping it up. What do you think is going to happen with GME by June 21st, 2024? Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. His calls are June 20th, right? So, it's anybody's guess, but it's looking like it's going to be, if we can just continue the momentum, as long as, the S&P 500 doesn't see the bottom fall out of it, I think we're just fine. We're seeing some healthy corrections, but if I were a betting man, like a roaring kitty to that degree, which I'm not, and I don't hold any position in GME. So if anybody's wondering if I hold GameStop stock, no, I don't. So there's no bias or anything like that here. It's my own thoughts and opinions. I think we could come down to around $20, maybe even as soon as next week, and then I think the markets are going to rip. I think we're going to see, I think there's a good chance that it could potentially test $70 to $100. Whether or not it happens by June 20th, we'll see. For his sake, I hope it does. But I would be more inclined to think that next week it's probably going to drop to around that 23, the hourly bear flag target, and potentially hourly oversold, and then maybe even a back test of $20. Everybody will think the rally's over. And then I think it's going to moonshot potentially to new 52-week highs. And maybe, who knows, maybe we hit $70 and he turns into a billionaire. Maybe we even go and we eclipse that all-time high at 120. So I think that there's a good chance. I'd say it's like with the S&P 500 bull flag, all the tech bull flags. We've got bull flags on Bitcoin, with Canada cutting rates, ECB cutting rates first time in over 4 years, and the US probably looking to do so as well. Just when is that going to happen, right? Or maybe there's a green swan or a black swan that we don't know about. But I would say that more than likely next week we continue to see a little bit more downside, that $23 to $20 mark, and then the week after that, payday. OGI is trying to form that monthly higher low. It's a great buying opportunity. Yeah, exactly, Jamalosi. Lots of names. So OGI was a laggard. So was Tilray, CDC, ACB. So now all of those major companies, they're forming monthly higher lows. So over the next month or two, maybe 3 at the most, I would think, we'll form that higher low, and then we'll potentially confirm monthly uptrends across the sector. So it's looking really, really good. I think Roaring Kitty's calls are June 21st, 2024. I thought it was June 20th, but maybe they expire after June 20th, which would be June 21st. So maybe I thought on the stream where he brought up his portfolio, it said June 20th. Wondering why Stellar hasn't ran. Wasn't it a meme coin too? No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. It's not the same this time around, right? Like before, we had Wall Street Bets, we had Roaring Kitty, everything was going crazy. Tilray, SNDL were going crazy, Dogecoin, but it's never the same the second time around, right? You can't expect everything to run. CLOV, FFIE is the new one now, went from like 3 pennies to like, what? I think it was like $3 or $4 or something like that. Like over 100x in like a week. $1,000 invested would turn it into like over $100,000, like just nuts. So different ones run, right? And, it's never going to be the same thing twice. It might repeat and it'll rhyme, but it's never going to be the same thing, completely verbatim, right? The market is like a champagne cork under pressure, ready to blow cash, make us all rich and richer. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I'd just be very cautious though, leading into, this next 6 months or so. Make sure you have a plan for if you know what hits the fan, because I've already done a video on this. It's called How I'm Preparing for One of the Worst Market Crashes in History. Do I think the market's going to crash tomorrow? No. I think we're going to potentially see, another leg up. We'll hit 600, maybe 620. Like I said, that monthly bull flag target on the S&P 500. And then that's when we're going to start a descent from there. And a 50% pullback from that would only be about 300. Remember whenever we were down at 200 after March 2020 and we got to 300 and everybody thought that was the top? Well, if we go to 600, which we're not too far off now, or 620, a 50% correction on the S&P 500 would bring us back to 300, which would be the previous top that everybody thought we were going to top at. So, don't be surprised if it pulls back 40, 50%. Why aren't they in jail? Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, no one in office, people who make laws should never, ever, ever, I don't care who you are, they should never be able to make buying and selling decisions with stocks or crypto. Like, maybe they can buy like a mutual fund or something like that. I don't know. There's in my opinion, it's not a job. Like, you shouldn't go into politics for a job. You know what I mean? Like, to make money and to make a living and to be rich, to get rich. It should be to make the world a better place and your country a better place, right? It shouldn't just be all about the money. And that's the problem with the countries that we live in here nowadays, is politicians are just there for a lifelong political job career, right? They're not there to actually do good most of the time. Not everybody is like that, but like most of it, right? So, it's just like, come on, a monkey could tell you. People making and how many times did they show it in the videos that I posted in the last couple of days? They're like, we have too much insider information. If you or I did that, we'd be in jail for the rest of our lives, likely, or a good portion of it. And then here's Nancy Pelosi worth $300 million. Okay, she's worth $300 million on a salary of like $200,000 a year. And then that's taxed. Okay, that adds up, right? No, it doesn't. It's called corruption, and these people need to go to jail. Until they go to jail, or until the laws are changed, they're just going to keep doing it. And even if the laws do get changed and they can't buy it directly, what's stopping Nancy Pelosi from going over and telling her, cousin twice, third cousin twice removed, re-added again, removed, re-added again. Hey, cousin, I'm going to give you, some tips and some advice, but you have to give me 50% of that, right? Or they create a shell company or something like that. So, eventually these people, they're just going to keep doing it. They're breaking the law. Like, they're not really breaking the law now, but I can guarantee you they're not just going to stop. They'll find some way to get around it. And then once, the people start going to the jail, and even Gary Gensler, the head of the SEC, who used to work for Goldman Sachs, and you can see everything that he's doing with crypto, right? He's trying to protect the incumbent banks, trying to slow the industry down. That guy should be in jail, in my opinion. Like, you're doing us all a disservice. You're not working for the American people. You're working for yourself and these financial banks, these Wall Street banks. It's just sickening. And love that about Roaring Kitty and Keith Gill. Stick it to the man, stick it to the hand that feeds you, because at the end of the day, you can't beat them. Join them, and we can't beat them. But remember the movie Dumb Money? He's like, guy gets Seth Rogen's character. He gets home and wife's like, so how much did we lose today? He's like, $1 billion. And she's like, how much did we lose yesterday? $1 billion. So, sucks to be them. Because this is what they're getting a taste of their own medicine. If Roaring Kitty would have placed a call on his live stream, it would have for sure boosted the stock up. Yeah, exactly. Rod, your mic gain is too high. Yeah, I asked about that earlier, and I lowered a little bit, and I asked if it was better, but nobody said anything. So, I've got a new laptop, and I'm getting it all set up. So apologies. Still getting everything kind of worked out to optimal levels here on the new laptop. But thank you for letting me know. Is that better now? Hopefully that's better now, old preach. Yeah, it's weird. Like I said, I have everything cranked on my mic, and it's the streaming software. I had it on my old computer. Everything was cranked on my mic, and everything was cranked on this streaming software. And then people were saying, "Oh, your volume's really low." And then I checked it, and I was like, "Weird. It's not even like the decibel's not even getting into the red zone with everything cranked." And then just sometimes I'll open this streaming software and then I'll have a mind of its own and it just decides to work and crank everything. And then other times it's like, yeah, it's a little bit better. I just like really put it down now. How's that? Testing, testing. Let me know how that is. But yeah, that's like super low at the moment. I would even question if you guys and girls could hear me at the moment, but good to see you. Thank you. Absolutely. Well, if anybody did join late, I know we're nowhere near 600,000 people on the live stream today, but even 30 or 40, I think we were over 50 at one point, definitely on a Friday evening leading into the weekend. Not a bad turnout. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining the live stream today. It's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth. Hope you have a fantastic weekend ahead. And if you haven't seen the intro to the video, go back. That one is for you, Keith. All right, we'll see you on the next video. All right, what about now? Is that a sweet spot on the microphone? I see somebody said too much. Yeah, old preach. Jam Lucy said that's low. Old preach too much. You might have if you're on like earphones or something like that too, and the volume's cranked, might be a little bit much. But hopefully we got it at the sweet spot here now, and I'll leave that setting as it is, and then go from there. All right. Once again, have a great weekend. We'll see you on the next update. Perfect. Thanks, Franklin. All right. Take care.